was at Walsh for about 15 years.
I spent 32 years plus at Walsh.
23 years.
22 years.
I was 25 years at Walsh. Said Deus dat incrementum. That's the motto of the college.
It's taken from one of St. Paul's epistles to the Corinthians.
It's in Latin. It means God gives the increase.
God gives the increase. And I think he's been most bountiful in the way he has brought it from the small college that we thought we would be to the present size university.
The Brothers of Christian Instruction were founded in France in 1819 to educate children in primary schools. The brothers later emigrated to Canada and then to the Northeast United States. The brothers served in a number of New England cities and towns before establishing Lamennais College in Alfred, Maine, as a scholasticate, a teacher training college for young brothers. By the mid-1950s, the brothers decided to move the school out of Maine to Canton, Ohio.
It was a big adventure for all of us because we were New England fellows and, we were going out to the Midwest.
However, the Walsh campus in 1960 was not as exciting as some might have hoped.
It was kind of bleak, quite frankly.
One building was the brothers' house, and the other building was the college.
There were alfalfa fields right besides the buildings.
It just open farmland.
There was nothing else.
The brothers, although not known for their work in higher education, proved to be a perfect fit for Walsh.
November 17th, 1960. Wonderful day. The opening of Walsh, and Brother Thomas Farrell addressed us that morning. And as I recall it, he compared the opening of Walsh College to the founding of Great Notre Dame in Indiana. And I think some of us kind of snickered a little and said, this is a little pretentious. But times have changed, and maybe it isn't so pretentious as it seemed then.
We didn't have many resources. There was never enough equipment. There was never enough place. It was a basketball game at a high school. It was a swim party at the Jewish Center. It was graduation at Timken High School. There wasn't a student union. The basement of Farrell Hall, which is now the print room, was the dining room. Even though from a facilities point of view, we were seriously inadequate, there was a camaraderie. There was a sense of hospitality.
It's called the Brother Edmund Druin Library today. They named it after me because I was the one to start it.
At first it was all men, but then we began having evening courses for non-resident women students, and bit by bit we adapted for them.
When we first arrived in 1972, women had not been on campus very long, so they were a little bit strict, and we had a curfew in the dorm. They decided second semester that if your parents wrote a letter, you could have your curfew eliminated. And my dad's response was, that's why I sent you to a Catholic school, so that the brothers would be looking out for you.
From the beginning, it was the financial sacrifices of the brothers, unknown to the public, which kept Walsh afloat.
The founding brothers initially took no salary whatsoever from Walsh other than their daily living expenses that started out in 1960 as $1.19 a day.
The brothers gave more than financial support. They forged a community spirit which sustains the Walsh family to this day.
You could go talk to them about, just life in general and things you were going through, and they were always happy to share their thoughts with you and help you out.
They were the dean of students, they were the bursar, they ran the bookstore. The brothers were just
omnipresent. I was a soccer player, and they were always some of our best supporters. You could always count on the brothers, whether the weather was bad or good. They were out there.
I can recall hours spent in the admissions office until 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, knowing that things had to be done. In a sense, that's what brotherhood is as well. It's presence to people, especially when they're in most desperate need.
The brothers not only cared about our time in the classroom, they cared about what we did outside the classroom. It wouldn't be unusual for Brother Roland to help organize a roller skating outing where we would transport everyone over to a roller skating rink in Louisville. And then we would pull into McDonald's on the way home.
When I reminisce with alumni from those days, they have a tremendous respect and fondness for the relationships with the brothers, who were more than teachers, more than administrators, but truly the word brother had the meaning in every sense of it.
Would Walsh be here today without the Brothers of Christian Instruction? Absolutely not. The Brothers of Christian Instruction, they are weaved into the fabric that is Walsh University. They came to Walsh 60 years ago, and they literally put everything they were, everything they had into this, and they trusted that God would grant the increase. And that was something that you see the Brothers of Christian Instruction, their charism and their legacy all throughout campus. So no, absolutely, Walsh would not be here, and they would not be what it is today if it was not for the Brothers of Christian Instruction.
I came to Walsh in the mid-'80s. Brother Francis Bluen hired me. I was much smaller in terms of the size of the campus, the programs then. I was with the brothers all of the time. I came into the Department of Education. It was small at that time to teach, and the brothers were all teachers. So Brother Francis talked to me often. We'd walk around campus. He had hundreds of ideas, and that's really what led me to stay here and why I'm so committed to the legacy of the brothers.
Walsh University today is really not much different than I suspect it was in 1960 when we started. Basically, it was educators that came together with this understanding that we were trying to help people in these final years of formation prepare for their life's purpose. That's what we're doing here today.
Everything we do is about our students. So when we develop new programs, when we develop career services, almost anything on campus, always focuses on the care and the well-being and the future of our students, and that has not changed.
Yeah, so many things make Walsh University so amazing and special, and I have to say one of the best things that touch my life is the sense of family. This place is home, and that's something I get the same feeling that I would get pulling into my driveway at home where I'm excited. I get the same feeling pulling into work, even on some of the rough days, but this place is home. It's inspiring to see how far we've come, how small it started and how large it has become so far, and how large it's going to get. The Brothers of Christian Instruction have really planted those seeds, in believing and then sed Deus ad incrementum, that God will grant that increase, that Walsh would flourish someday. And I believe that, we are seeing that today.
My time at Walsh, I think, gave me a great theological foundation and understanding of what it is that we believe as Catholics and how to explain those things. That gave me an edge, I think, when I went to the seminary, and eventually now I'm a priest, so it served me well.
Today we have nearly 2,600 students. We have about 400 full-time people that are working here, with countless others, adjuncts, additional people, volunteers, all making a contribution to help these students, undergraduate, graduate, all ranks, wherever they are in their life's journey, prepare for that next phase of their life's journey. Service learning at Walsh University is probably one of the most important things we do. So we're focused on the whole person development, intellectual, social, physical, moral. But if you're going to be true to serving others, you have to learn how to do that. You cannot assume that because you've gone through the academic work that you know how to serve others. What service learning does is it grounds our students in bringing together all these different pieces of their experience and giving back. And we want them to taste that here while they're on campus, so that we can fine-tune and hone that so they can be even more effective when they graduate. That's why service learning is so important to what we're doing.
So just this week, I was working with a group of students that are in a victimology class, and I connected them with a local agency that is working to educate elderly about scams that take advantage of them. So the students are going to create an educational pamphlet that is accessible to the elderly population about these scams.
And what a Catholic education does is it teaches you it's not about you, it's about them. And so it is so important, it is so different. Because if we're going to prepare people to be leaders, and if we're going to prepare them to serve others, then you have to be willing to critique what's going on around you. You know, when our founding father, who was Jean-Marie de Lamennais, when he established his mission, he used the motto, God alone. And what that meant was that with God alone can you actually get this done.
We also offer learning communities for our students that engage them in global learning opportunities here on campus. And so those learning communities focus on global challenges we face, whether it be hunger, sustainability, water access, clean and safe water access around the world. So our students are learning about those topics in the classroom and then studying them here locally, but also what we see internationally and how those interact and impact our world.
We do have Christ the Servant Teaching Corps, which started several years ago and has grown. I'm very proud of it. I run that with Monsignor Gaetano. Our Lady of Peace is a very needy school in terms of its families and children. They're almost at 100% poverty level. And so our students are actually there physically almost during all of their school days, studying and working with children. And we're able to do outreach in that program. We have after-school programs. We work all over the community.
You know, Walsh is a special place because of its mission, this idea that we want men and women to learn how to serve. But to do that, you have to learn sacrifice. And what makes Walsh so special is the faculty and the staff. They demonstrate what sacrifice means all the time for our students. You know, oftentimes you'd rather see a lecture than hear one. So I think what makes Walsh special is that we're actually doing what we're called for our students to do. Walsh lives out its mission every single moment of every single day at the relationship level. This is an enterprise that's about relationships. The brothers, those 7 that came here, it was all about the relationships as it is today.
It's very rewarding to be in the role of educator and to be teaching and leading our Division of Education, because that was the brothers' mission, their legacy. We talk about it all of the time to our students, to each other. I don't want that to go away, so that's very dear to my heart. I'm very, very happy that I can continue that legacy.
You know, Walsh is a special place. It's a place where you can find a home. It's a place where you can find a mentor. It's a place where you find people that are committed to you and your success, whether that be in the classroom, outside the classroom in a volunteer opportunity, or in your career. And I think that those connections really, they stay with you as you move through the university and beyond. And so I think that when we say that Walsh is special, what we mean is that you're going to find people that you connect to, and you're going to find people that are committed to a mission that is close to you as well.
So I think in some sense the tools have changed, but the mission hasn't changed, and where people's heart are in getting the mission done has not changed. We wouldn't be here 60 years if people weren't really committed to this, and they're as committed today as they were 60 years ago, and I think we're going to show how committed we're going to be 60 years from now.
My hope for Walsh in the future is that 60 years from now, my great-grandchildren will step foot on this campus as college freshmen, and they will, with no doubt in their hearts and in their minds, know who the Brothers of Christian Instruction were and who they are, in that charism and that love to make Jesus' name known and be a servant of Christ. Servant leaders will be in their hearts, it will be instilled in them from the moment they set foot on this campus.
My hope for Walsh is that for the next 60 years that we can live out the fullness of our faith and the fullness of the mission that the brothers have created here for us. They sewed into the fabric of Walsh University their charism. So what my hope is over the next 60 years, we can show that that's actually really here and build upon that in ways that the brothers would look at and go, wow, that is our charism in full bloom for the world to see. And they see that through the lives of those that have come through the university over the years.